Hello everyone, this is ACHAI Akaya, and we are in another 1v1 on Steps of War. Bubba once again playing here as the Red Zerg, facing off this time against a Blue Terran, KawaiiRice, who is once again a very good player. He has been absolutely insane. He was great in the beta, and he has done very, very well in the ladder since the game has gone to release. So I'm definitely interested to see how these two players face off against each other, especially because we've heard a lot of Zerg complaints about just dealing with the Terran army, especially mech. Once they get that mix of tanks, Hellions, and Thors, how the heck do you deal with that as a Zerg player? So I'm very interested to see how Bubba takes that on, because he is a good Zerg player. If you have not seen the 1v1 of him versus Hydra, definitely check that out. It was a fun game to watch, and Bubba really showed that he can hang with the best, playing against a really great player in Hydra. So I'm interested to see how he fares against KawaiiRice as a Terran player. But getting into this game right now, it looks like there's not going to be any super crazy cheese again. Just taking note of the drone count here, it looks like he is at about 13 right now, 14 jumping up, so he is not going to be going for any kind of early 8 pool or 10 pool or anything like that, and we may indeed actually see a fast expand from him, which is pretty common on this map because of how close your expansion is to your main. Excuse me, oh my goodness, I just had quite a burp there. But anyways, it looks like KawaiiRice trying to get his barracks up, although Bubba bringing a drone in, going to harass that SCV, and only getting one shot off on it before a couple more SCVs come up to alleviate that pressure on the SCV that's building the barracks. And he is just managing to keep the second SCV busy here. One of the other SCVs being sent back, all ready to mine, and an early refinery up from KawaiiRice. So we may see some Reapers out here pretty early. Reaper harass right now, very, very common against Zerg players from Terran early game, just because of how powerful Reapers are, especially if you can get that speed upgrade. Although it looks like KawaiiRice is going to try to get out a Marine initially to take out this scouting drone and prevent him from getting any more intel, and it looks like that drone already taking a decent amount of damage from the SCV as he's trying to do a little scouting and harassing, but once he gets that and actually taking the gas from the Terran, that Marine coming out here is going to be able to take that drone out relatively easily if he does cancel this extractor. But if not, he will delay the second gas for the Terran, and of course get a little bit more info as far as how many SCVs he has on his base. And it looks like Bubba is going to indeed go for a fast expand, and he has his spawning pool up and running right now, so he will have a few Zerglings to help defend against any kind of early Marine push. And it looks like Bubba did allow the extractor to finish here, so now KawaiiRice is forced to commit one of his early Marines to picking away at this extractor while he tries to get his second gas up and running. And back at his entrance here, you can see that he is getting a reactor on and actually going for a factory. So rather than going for that popular Reaper harassment, it looks like he may try to go some kind of a Marine and possibly a mech push with those Marines, maybe tanks. Marine tank can also be very powerful against Zerg. So it looks like there are a few Zerglings up here trying to put some pressure on this reactor, although the one Marine with these SCVs healing is going to be plenty to take that down. Although no, he manages to take the reactor out. Although the Zerglings are not going to be able to get in and do any serious harassment, he did take out the attachment, which is a huge deal. That is going to delay his Marine production significantly, because these reactors take so long to build, and it looks like he has actually bought his extractor a little bit more time as well, forcing KawaiiRice to take that Marine off and defend his entrance. And here comes a Hellion, so it looks like he actually is going to try to get out some Hellions and do some harassment. Very, very interesting build here from KawaiiRice. Of course, Hellion's very strong against Zerglings, and it looks like there are a couple of spine crawlers here going down at the expansion, which has just gone up for Bubba. So he is trying to get out some spawn larvae at this expansion, going to be transferring some drones here as well, it looks like, and getting a Roach Warren up, since he is aware of that early factory tech and knows that he has the capability to get those Hellions out. Roaches, of course, are necessary to deal with those Hellions unless you want to build a lot of spine crawlers, but of course stationary defense always not the best option when you're trying to defend against a quick mobile unit like that. You really want to try to get a mobile force that way. If you can hold off the attack, you can of course counter push on the map. But anyways, it looks like there are 4 Hellions now totaling, and they're going to come out immediately roasting that one Zergling that was trying to do a little bit of scouting on the front entrance there. So he is aware that these Hellions are out and coming, but he does have 2 spine crawlers up at his expansion, and he actually does have his Queen blocking the ramp. So it looks like he is not going to be able to do a run by and get up into his base, at least not without taking some serious damage from the spine crawler and Queen first. Of course, that Queen cannot fully block off that ramp from those Hellions getting by, and it looks like he's actually actually going to try to micro these Hellions a little bit and get up in there so that he can actually do some damage with that Queen sitting up at the top, not able to attack quite as far away as the Hellions are, and getting out some Roaches now. So those Roaches going to be able to easily block that ramp against those Hellions, and the Spine Crawlers actually moving up a little bit as well, going to prevent those Hellions from really doing any serious harassment. So very, very good defensive play from Bubba right now, and KawaiiRice actually getting up his expansion, and it looks like he is going to be transferring about 6 SCVs over right away, and a lot more barracks going down, getting 2 more barracks, and he actually has a, he's put his barracks on a tech lab and moved his factory over onto that reactor so that he can get those Hellions out a little bit quicker, although as you can see, not currently building any more Hellions simply because he cannot do anything with them as it stands right now, because Bubba has his ramp extremely well defended to prevent any kind of cheesy Hellion harassment. Oh, and these Roaches moving out at the perfect time, taking down one of those Hellions immediately, and the rest of these Hellions are going to have to back off, and now Bubba getting a very, very strong economy. If we look at the income right now, we can actually see that he is still slightly behind, though, simply because the Terran Mules are very, very good at keeping Terran up with the economy, even when they don't have as many miners, which, as you can see, there are 4 less miners for KawaiiRice right now as opposed to what Bubba has, but he is still ahead because those mules returning 30 minerals per trip, very, very powerful. And it looks like KawaiiRice actually getting up a starport here, so I'm curious to see if he's going to go for the medevac support or if he's going to try to get some Ravens or possibly Banshees in the mix here as well. And a ton of Marines going to be coming out here, it looks like, since he has 2 barracks with with the reactor add-ons here, in addition to the 1 barracks with the tech lab add-on. And we'll see if he tries to get, yeah, he is going to put his his starport on the reactor that his factory was initially on as well, so more than likely going to be getting some medevacs to support this large infantry army, which he is starting to mass here. And once again, calling down a few more mules, super important for keeping that Terran economy up and running. And it looks like Bubba actually going to take out the destructible rocks and try to get an expansion up on the high ground here on the right side of the map. There is 1 Hellion up there, though, so he is going to be aware of that base going up as soon as it goes down, and will be able to mobilize his forces accordingly if he decides that he wants to attack on that expansion as it's going up. And it looks like a bunch of Banelings being morphed right now as well, and an Evo chamber going down. So it looks like there's a lot of tech, and actually Bubba getting a Spire as well, just teching all over the place, getting Evo chambers, Banelings, Roaches, Zerglings, everything just all over the place. So I'm definitely interested to see how this unit combination fares, and with all that infantry from the Terran, those Banelings are going to be super crucial for holding that off, since Roaches do not fare very well against the large amount of Marauders that he has right now. Although it looks like he is going to push off. There are a bunch of Zerglings in the front right now, although it looks like they're getting a little bit out of place because he is forcing those Marauders to back down. And a ton of Banelings, oh my goodness, all of those Marines just get roasted, and there is absolutely nothing defending this base right now. I'm not sure if KawaiiRice is going to be able to do anything to hold this off. And another great couple of Banelings here, taking out a ton of workers. You can just see how many workers have gone down right now, and even more Banelings taking out SCVs at the expansion here. And you can see that he has taken a huge dip in the econ game. He is literally at 1/3 of the income of Bubba right now, so a very, very brilliant attack coming from Bubba, using his Banelings, Zerglings, and Roaches perfectly divided in order to come up and do some serious damage. And here comes a ton of Zerglings trying to get in here and really capitalize on that advantage that he had, although it looks like he is going to be outnumbered by the amount of Marines, and that is really the advantage of having all of these reactors on his barracks. That just allows him to macro up a super large amount of Marines very, very quickly, and with the medevacs already overhead to repair or heal these Marines and Marauders rather, he was able to push back that attack. But as you can see, the damage has already been done. There's a huge income discrepancy between these two players right now. Only half of the harvesters for KawaiiRice versus Bubba, and Bubba is getting his expansion up and running as well. So Bubba, once again, proving to be a very formidable opponent. I look forward to seeing how well he does in the pro StarCraft scene as